Hi there, this is Tony from pianotone.ca. So there's some exciting news from Yamaha. They have finally announced upgrades for two of the best and most popular portable digital pianos ever, the P-125 and the P-45. There is now a P-225 replacing the P-125 and a P-145 replacing the P-45. Now, do note that Yamaha briefly released a P-125A. I made a couple of videos on that piano, and I did not recommend it because it is not an upgrade to the P-125. It is a downgrade. It's the exact same piano as the P-125 in every single way, except Yamaha removed the built-in audio interface, which takes away a ton of super valuable features. There are a couple of videos out there that say that Yamaha added string resonance and key-off samples to the P-125A, but that is not the case. Those features were always included with the P-125, which I demonstrated in one of my videos. So Yamaha always seems to release new products first in Australia. I'm not sure why, but they do. So if you want to look up specs for these new models on your own, Google Yamaha Pianos Australia to find Yamaha's website and info on these new models. Now, since where I live is unfortunately one of the last places to see new models from Yamaha, it will probably be a while until I can actually test one of these out in a store, and even a bit longer until they're made available for me to rent so that I can actually do a review. I spoke to my local piano store, and the keyboard manager wasn't actually aware of these new models, but after checking with his Yamaha rep, told me they expect to see these in North America sometimes in the fall or possibly towards the end of 2023. So in this video, I just wanted to let all of you know that these models are coming, and I'll give you a quick overview of what my thoughts are on the specs as they are listed on Yamaha Australia's website in summer of 2023. So let's check it out. So the first, and I'm betting quite likely the biggest thing that will be talked about with these new models, is Yamaha is announcing a new action with both of these pianos. The GHC action, which stands for Graded Hammer Compact. This replaces the GHS, which is Graded Hammer Standard action that has been in use for years. The GHS is actually my favorite piano action I've ever played. It's on my Yamaha DGX 670, and it's also on my new Yamaha CK88 stage piano. So while I'm not surprised Yamaha has finally replaced the GHS, I'm actually a bit surprised with how this new action is being described. I personally would have guessed that Yamaha would move from the double sensor GHS action to possibly a triple sensor, maybe add escapement, etc. So moving towards the Roland PHA4 action on their FP series. I'm personally not a fan of the PHA4 action and actually prefer the GHS, but I'm probably in the minority on that opinion. And action is totally a personal preference. But instead, it seems from the description on the site that Yamaha is instead moving a little bit closer to Casio's actions on the PXS Privia series, which is a very compact action. Yamaha's new action is described as reproducing the playability of the GHS, but in a more compact design. So while I can't offer any actual opinion whatsoever without actually playing one of these, a more compact action does open up potential issues like what some people have talked about with the Casio Privias, which is things like keys feeling heavier as you play towards the back, that type of thing. I should note that as I mentioned in my reviews on Privia pianos, I actually quite like the compact smart scaled action. But there are definitely quite a few out there who don't share my opinion on those. So it will be super interesting to test out this new compact Yamaha GHC action and see how it compares to their GHS and to Roland's PHA4 and to Casio's smart scaled actions. Okay, so on to the voices. The P-225 has 24 voices and the P-145 has 10, so this is the same as their predecessors. But the main piano voice on both have been upgraded from the prior models. The P-225 now has the CFX Grand sample, which I have on my DGX 670 and on my CK88, and it is a fabulous piano sample. And the P-145 has been upgraded from the CF engine to the CF3S. Polyphony on both models remains unchanged from their predecessors, with 192 on the P-225 and 64 on the P-145. Another improvement to take note of with regard to the piano voices on the P-225 is that this model now has virtual resonance modeling. This attempts to make your piano playing sound more detailed and realistic as you play by including various types of natural resonance that you would have in an acoustic piano. My DGX 670 has versions of piano samples that include and don't include virtual resonance modeling, and I've got to say it's a pretty noticeable difference. The P-145 doesn't have VRM, but it does have damper resonance. Okay, the user interfaces. This is pretty easy to describe because at least from what I can see from the videos and photos available online, the user interfaces appear to be largely unchanged on both of these models. The P-45 never had much of an interface and requires key combinations for pretty much everything, even to select voices, and this appears to be the same on the P-145. But there are only 10 sounds, and which key triggers which sound is labeled on the front of the piano, so that's okay, especially for an entry-level model. The P-125's simple and intuitive button-driven user interface was always one of my favorite interfaces, but it would have been nice in the P-225 to have had a simple screen, even a couple of lines added to help select rhythms and to see what rhythm you currently have selected, and also to help configure some of the various settings in a simpler way than looking up key combinations. But given that I always loved the P-125's interface, this is probably still going to be awesome with the P-225, and not adding a screen will help keep the cost down. And keep in mind, you can always use Yamaha's free Smart Pianist app to enhance the user experience with both of these new models. Okay, some other notable features that are worth mentioning, some of which are new. Both the P-225 and the P-145 have an audio interface built into the USB port. So thankfully, Yamaha has included that feature that they inexplicably removed from the P-125A. This is huge because it offers the following advantages. You can record high-quality audio direct to a device without needing an external audio interface. So you can record audio tracks direct to a DAW software like GarageBand, or you can record piano videos with high-quality direct audio straight to your smartphone using the built-in camera app or Yamaha's Rec and Share app, which both of these new models are compatible with. And another big benefit is since audio travels in both directions through this port, you can also stream audio into the piano from a device to play along with. And this also means that if you're using the piano as a MIDI controller, your MIDI sounds will not only play on your device, they will come back through the piano to the piano speakers, headphones, and line outs, most likely without any lag. So while you can use that USB connection to stream in external audio on either model, the P-225 also now offers Bluetooth audio for a more convenient audio streaming option. Both the P-225 and the P-145 are compatible with Yamaha's Smart Pianist app, which is an awesome app. And once again, as with their predecessors, the P-225 offers left and right line-out ports, rhythms that you can play along with, and both layers and splits. The P-145 only offers layering, has no built-in rhythms, and does not have left and right line-outs. The speakers actually appear to be the same on both of these models at 7 watts per side for a total of 14 watts. But they are now backwards facing, and I believe they're vented with a slit of some sort that does face the player. So those are the main specs on these two new models, and as I mentioned at the start of this video, I'm getting these specs off Yamaha Australia's website as of summer 2023 when these models were announced there. So what are my thoughts on these new models just based on these specs? Well, here are what I see as some of the positive features. So right off the bat, I mean the P-125 and the P-45 are both absolutely fabulous products, super popular worldwide, and have been for years. So the fact that there's new versions of them out with some upgrades is a pretty exciting prospect. So they both received some great piano voice upgrades, especially the P-225. From owning a DGX 670, I can testify that the CFX Grand Sample with virtual resonance modeling is pretty fantastic. I'm super thankful that Yamaha has included the built-in audio interface from the P-125 that they removed from the P-125A in both of these new models. It really does offer a ton of added functionality, and it's nice that this has also been included in the P-145 model, because the P-45 didn't have that feature or any type of audio in option. So now the P-145 has an option for streaming audio into the piano that you can play along with. The addition of Bluetooth audio on the P-225 is a super handy feature to have for a quick and easy audio in option. One thing I would have liked to have seen with these new models, though, is the ability to run on batteries. This has been something Casio has offered in their Privia line for a while, and my new Yamaha CK88 stage piano can actually run on batteries, so I'm actually a little bit surprised this wasn't included with the P-Series upgrades, but it is what it is. As I mentioned earlier, even a simple 1 or 2 line screen on the P-225 to help with choosing rhythms and configuring options also would have been nice to see. So that brings me back to what I still think the huge talking point is going to be about these new models, this new compact GHC action from Yamaha. Once again, without playing it, it's not fair to say anything. I might absolutely love it when I try it. And I personally do like Casio's actions, just not as much as the GHS. But I am still surprised that Yamaha went with the compact approach. I checked the dimensions of the new models compared to their predecessors, and yes, they're narrower, but only by a couple of centimeters, so just under an inch. So is that 1 inch really that important? I guess we'll see. But if these new models play and respond similar to the feel and response of the GHS action, then I'm going to be super happy. Now, one more thing to note. I noticed on the spec sheet on Yamaha Australia's site that there are 4 models listed, not 2. There's also a P-223 and a P-143. I went through the specs that were listed, and the only difference I could see between the 225 and the 223 seems to be that the 225 lists the LP1 triple pedal unit as an available accessory, whereas the 223 instead lists the LP5A triple pedal unit instead. This is an older triple pedal unit that Yamaha used to use with the prior versions of the DGX line, like the 660. I've never actually seen one of these, but I think the pedals on those might be plastic instead of metal. I have no idea why this would be the case unless the new LP1 pedal unit isn't available in some markets or something like that. And with the P-145, the older pedal unit is listed as an available accessory, and the 143 doesn't list any triple pedal unit. This actually makes no sense to me. This might even possibly be an error on the website. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but at least from what the specs say on the site as of right now, the 225 and the 223 and 145 and 143 seem to be exactly the same, other than whatever's going on with these pedal units. So that's pretty much it for this video. Sorry I can't actually demo anything yet or offer an opinion on anything more than just the initial specs. But I did want to let you all know that these new models are on the way, so you should start seeing some reviews pop up online as the availability starts to grow. I've left some links below in the description to my reviews on the DGX 670, the CK stage pianos, my now quite old review on the P-125, as well as some videos on the P-125A. And I've also left some links to some online piano training that I recommend. Once these new models become available on Amazon, I'll leave some links so you can check out current prices in your area. So if you like the content, please feel free to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. That does really help me out. Thanks again for stopping by. Happy piano playing and happy piano shopping. Have an awesome day.